in the world you're watching from. Good morning from Africa, from Kenya, from Nairobi. Oh my goodness, we have rain. It has rained the whole night and it's still drizzling. Oh, beautiful. It's beautiful, it's nice, it's cold. I just got up and I'm just so afraid because don't worry about my dry lips. I'm just feeling scared because we've had flooding on the road coming to our place. Not directly to my home, but the main road that comes to the township where I live. So we are praying for security. Help us to pray. I hope you're well wherever you are. I hope you're having a lovely day, a good day. Have you watched my channel? It's early morning. I'm still in my night dress. And this is what a lot of us African ladies do. We just tie a shawl. We are not very gowny. Yes, of course we own sleeping bedtime gowns, but this is more of us. We tie something. I would call them shukas in Kenya, or leso. We tie it around below our arms, and then this will suffice as an apron the whole day. It will also cover up your night dress if it's skimpy. It will keep you warm, and then you can generally do a lot of work before you dress up for the day. Yes, before you now have your bath and then dress for the day. So if you've lived in Africa, you're aware of this. Even when we're dressed and then we need to do some untidy work that we don't want our clothes to get dirty with, this is the apron that we'll use. We'll just tie something around ourselves like this. Yeah. And then right now, because it's very cold, I'm not usually I'll just wear what do you call it, something, netting to hold my hair. But now because it's so cold, I need to cover my ears and to cover my head to keep it warm. So this is what I'm using right now. For those of you who watch my videos, you know that I use this headgear even when I'm going out, but it has to be multi-purpose. It has to serve many uses. So I also use it to cover my hair, my head and my hair, to keep me warm when it's cold. I'm just about to prepare breakfast. I harvested some guavas yesterday. I ate all but 2. Yeah, so I anticipate I'm going to have some in the next 2 weeks, I think. Now that it's raining heavier, the heavier it rains, the less the speed with which they reproduce. But when it starts drying up a little bit after the rain, they produce more. It's late afternoon and it's warm, so I just want to take a walk around and see the situation on the road. It's so muddy, but I'm in my gumboots and I'm just dreading it because I know it's horrible. But let's go and see how it looks. First of all, it's chilly. I've been in the house most days, so I didn't know it's quite cold. I'm in a short-sleeved t-shirt. And then you can see the muddiness. And the little stream across the road is still there. There's somebody I wanted to go and check on. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to reach there. Let's just see. I'm even afraid to trudge through this because I know I'm going to get deep into the mud. So I have to circumvent till where there's a lot of grass. No, just have to bypass here. Okay, squeegee. Yeah, so this little stream is still flowing. Let me not go anywhere where I'm going to endanger myself. I'll just walk places where it's a bit there's a bit of safety around it. So this water flows all the way here. It's really a wide stream when it's flowing, and places like this which have marab are at least a bit drier ground. It's better. I can see gauging from how that lady is coming, it's not so good there. So I don't know whether I should bother at all to go there. Like I said, I also don't want to endanger myself.
Anyway, we'll still go. So this is, oh, okay, I see why when the water is very much, it flows that way. It comes this way. And when it starts reducing, I thought it was flowing this way. It doesn't. This is just, oh my goodness, my neighbor's compound actually is the one that has overflooded and is flowing out here. You see they dug some channels to take out water. So that one coming from that side, you remember the road which I showed you is fully flooded, is the one that goes out here. This is all from my neighbor's house, and that's because there's some water coming from behind their house and then bypassing the house and flowing through here. Oh goodness, this is so terrible, because if there are people living at the back side of the compound, they're totally marooned in case of an emergency at night. But I can see her compound is totally flooded. Now what my neighbor did is that she put an embankment like me. You see what I did here? This was the soil we removed when we were digging the foundation of our home, because we were using an excavator, and it has come in very handy, because if we didn't have this, every time we've had flooding, actually you see where the compound reaches, where that tall tree is, the compound next door, when the water would come, the time when we had the heaviest floods here, and the waters came all the way from school, they burst through my neighbor's compound, went into his compound, bypassed and went straight into the estate. But our compound was saved because of this embankment that I've put here. See how terrible this little path is? It's completely horrible. I'm even unable to walk the little path that has been cleared on the side. This is, I think, little children hold themselves onto the fence so that they cannot fall. Look at my neighbor's home, totally submerged underwater. Now what happens is that the people who came with the truck, the ones who put the culvert going into the next estate, because the truck, the grader, graded the road so that there was a channel on one side of the road and the other side of the road. The water is able not to rest on top of the road. So the road from, you see where there's that little like building kiosk, what we call a kiosk, let me zoom it for you. That little shack, I don't know if it's clear enough, but we'll walk that way so you're going to see. There's a little shack there, and that's where their truck got to. And so the road starting from that and going on to the school is very clean. I can even see it from here. When we get there, you'll see better. But now here, where it hasn't been graded, and coming to this junction, all of this junction, and then going that way, which has never been graded and has never had any maram on it. This is what I call no man's land. There are no people with gates this side, about just one or two, but their main gates are, this is the back gates. So this is where the water just flows, and we have children who come from that side, we have children coming from this side. So there's a real danger for children coming from that side. I can assure you that I wouldn't dare to try to cross this place because I know it's so difficult. I don't know whether we're going to, but this is an adult man. You'd have seen how they're crossing. And so when the rains are very heavy, the water comes gushing like this. You see the power of this water, it diverts and goes, when it's very high, it flows to my house. When it's not high, this is the gradient of the land, it goes that way. But when now it flows very heavily, it will go and burst through this compound and then get into the estate. So let's go ahead and see how the children trudge through this so that they can get to school. Oh, this is difficult. Yeah, this is why I stay in the house when it's rainy and muddy, because this is a trek you have to be very careful about. And you can see that if it's evening and people have to go to the shopping center, or there's somebody who's unwell and somebody has to go for medication, you can imagine now having to pass through this, and maybe it's raining. It's very, very, very unfair upon the taxpayers of this country. So here I cannot afford to look sideways when I'm walking because it's very slippery and I have to be very careful. Oh, yet I'm in gumboots, but this is a clay soil, so it's very slippery, and even in gumboots it's very easy for me to fall, and I'm walking sort of sideways because everybody has been walking straight, so that I can create some roughage and not walk on already smoothened places and risk falling faster. Yeah, that way I can't slide, because if I walk straight, everybody has been walking straight, I might find a place where I could skid. It actually becomes safer for you to walk barefoot. Sometimes take off the boots and walk barefoot. Yeah, because if especially the mud is very deep, then it becomes dangerous. I can see a place where people seem to have been sliding a lot, slipping a lot, so I'll have to come very near to get some traction. I have to step on where there are leaves very carefully, that I don't slip. Yep. Okay, sasa. Yeah, so I'm going to show you now. This is where the rough road begins, and I'm about to reach the place where I'm telling you where the truck, where they came with a grader and graded the road and have made it a bit possible for pedestrians to walk. Okay, now I'm on my neighbor's entryway, so it has tarmac, so I can stand here comfortably. So you see, this is where the road was up to where that person is where the road was graded. But you see what my neighbor has done is that periodically she's been digging channels, and then she has put a culvert at her entryway, and the culvert allows for the water to go underneath, and then collectively as neighbors with her neighbor opposite, they've put some gravel here. Not some gravel, what can you call stones here, and somebody had tried to put some stones up to, I think, that level. So up to that level you can walk, but beyond that, especially at that junction, nobody has ever tried to do anything. So this channel needs to be cleared up, that channel needs to be cleared up, and a culvert needs to be put right at the junction. And the best kind of culvert would be one that picks. It can even be diverted before they reach the end at the corner, so that it goes underground, meets up with the waterway that's the drainage that's coming this way, and then we just have, so that at every point we only have one runoff drainage channel, so that we can have the bigger drainage channel on one side of the road, then the other one is a bit smaller, then it can handle the less water, then the culvert can get into the bigger one and drain it right up to the river. Here I remember the person who lived here previously, their culvert broke, and since their culvert broke, you see the water just goes over. But from this section you can see very clearly this was graded, the road was graded, and rocks were put here, so the water kind of finds a way, and then the road is clear. And here now, going to school, the road is a bit clear. That's been very greatly improved, because when we have this kind of hardcore poured here, a lot of stones, soil that is very stony, that helps the ground. But now that doesn't extend to beyond that place, and that corner now becomes a very big danger for the children. It's a small spot, but it becomes dangerous. Now the water that is getting into my neighbor's compound is this. You see this? All this is water. This compound is totally filled with water, and it comes from further upstream. I don't think we'll have to walk that side, because I can see the road is good, and I just wanted to check how the road is that way. I'm dreading having to go back to bypass that mud, but we have to take it, and I wanted to just do this just to show you. Then we'll try and go another side, but not very far. It's evening, so that we can see then how this goes. And this is a lot of water. Can you imagine that this water has been flowing since yesterday night? In fact, since yesterday. So you can imagine how much water there is. But like I told you, we have drain off coming here, coming here from as far as the Nairobi airport. There's a old military airport. It's called Old Embakasi. That airport drains water here. And if we went further down, actually I saw neighbors of mine posting videos of what's happening in Kamulu. And even before you get to Kamulu, we have a place called Barikiwa, which is about 2 or 3 kilometers from where I am. That's where now the collecting point of the water is, and for as far as the eye can see, it is, the level of water is more than waist high. And I don't think I can get there because the road going there right now it would just be risking. I told myself I would try earlier. I came out, I couldn't go very far. So hopefully when the water recedes a bit, or if I set off early and I don't know which road I would even pass, I don't want to unnecessarily risk my life, or so I know that what's happening around me, we're in the higher and safer area. A lot of people are really suffering with what's going on with the rain, and the fact that drainage has never been considered, has never been put as a forethought into the planning of the residential area of Ruai. So very, very unfortunate that people's homes are submerged underwater. People are having to trek through flowing rivers, big rivers, to get home, children to go to school, and we keep on praying for everybody to be safe. Yeah, this is terrible, very terrible. In a little shop I'm bypassing my neighbors. Let me see if I can buy something. That's endangering the lives of children very much, and I don't support it at all. Like, I would not come out, whatever the case, when it's heavily raining and I know that the whole of this place is raging water. You can imagine that this place becomes like a little waterfall. You see here, this becomes a little waterfall, this becomes a little waterfall. The time when I've ever dared come on top here to shoot the water, and that scared me, because if I got on here when the water was very high, it gets almost waist deep. For me, an adult, no. So, and this is just, well, here, I wouldn't, even if I was swept by the water, I guess I wouldn't be carried very far because there are very many stones. And I'd probably find some shrubs to hold on to. But now you can imagine a wide river. And then what I told you about these bridges that are built in Kenya by God knows who, it's just a slab of stone. Meaning if you slip, there's nothing. There are no railings on that thing. It's just a slab. Got to be joking. So the water drains down this way, and when I find money, I'm really going to ensure that that water never makes its way down around here, because it goes to drain that way. I'll actually put a blockade, a sort of a high blockade around this spot, so that the water goes that way and goes into the river. Then this road can be passable by all the people coming in from that way, because they are totally locked out. They don't have any other way to pass. And when this becomes flooded, and because we have this, again, is another no man's zone. There are no main gates here. You see, this is our back gate. If my neighbor was to open a gate there, it's a back one. Any of these people, if they were to open gates, these are back gates. So nobody is really concerned about this, making this section of the road here. And sometimes when I have visitors, they'll just park on the side. But I think it's my civil duty to ensure that the place is passable. So when I do get money, I'm going to raise this embankment is fine. It's being eaten in by the flow of water, but I'm going to raise a bump somewhere near this intersection before the main road comes to be completely done again. There'll be a small bump there, because also to stop some people come very fast when it's in dry season, drive very fast irrespective of the children here, so that we can have one bump here, one after the other T-junction, so that we can stem the flow of traffic because of the school children, and then raise this side so that when next rains come, the water is going one direction, so that even the children coming from further on, they can pass in the inner estate that side. The ones coming from this side can pass the inner estate, but they can find a smooth road this other side. We can have more areas where children can pass safely. So let us go this side and see how the road is this is mainly spoilt by truckers passing here. And the thing with truckers is they're very selfish. Those who carry building materials, when they come, they get stuck here. Majority of the time, that's a lot of these trenches and hollows you're seeing have been spoilt by big trucks coming here, ferrying sand, hardcore or ballast, but they'll never think of collectively coming and repairing some of these roads. I have no love for them. They supply us with materials, yes, but even they owe us. Hi, it's evening and I came back. I wasn't able to go further ahead like I wanted to do, to go and investigate. I just looked at the road and I was like, it's really not worth it. I mean, when I say that there are sections which are really mad, they are. And so I thought, yeah, even for the thrill of having content, it's not worth it. So I came back to the house. If you're new here, please like and subscribe, comment, share to support the channel. So yeah, I'm probably going to try tomorrow, and not just to try and go and film without taking any consideration of my safety, but I'm going to try and show you around how bad it is. I think I need to get to the school and find out, because there's a section which used to be a flood water path in the school, and I remember, was it last year? No, last year but one. Yeah, what happened was that the flood waters came and filled the school, like they came almost up to knee level, an adult's knee level. They created a channel cutting right through the local primary school. We lost a lot of books. We just purchased books, I think, for the term, for the year, textbooks and storybooks, and it was very sad. So I'll go tomorrow and check, even if not within the school, but because the schools are adjacent to the primary and the secondary, I'll probably go to the side where the secondary school is and then get to see. Since I was told you that my neighbor told me that children from the Upper Manyata area and children from Block 10, which is a section, an area, a region very near to where we are, but a bit further off, were not able to come to school. I know those roads very well. I bypass them very frequently, and I know that they're really bad. And like I said, this small section, you know, outside my house going to the school, if it is so bad, you can imagine some of these children where they are passing, it's practically rivers, and if it's not rivers, they are pools of mud or they are rivers of mud. So the danger is heightened for the children, and I'm very glad for the parents who are taking all due consideration to make sure that they don't endanger the lives of their children, or they don't even put them at risk of, even if they go to school and they fall. You know, when a child gets to school and they are so muddy, they are muddy up to probably their shorts or their dresses. It's uncomfortable to sit in class. They cannot change their shoes. They cannot change anything. Yeah, I'm glad that the parents are not sending the children to school, really, because my main consideration is for the children. And again, it's such a pity that our elected leaders are so negligent. The roads we have, I mean, if continuously just a few are being made every time, just a few, and I keep on saying, even if they didn't make all the roads, if they made all the main link roads, and they know what the link roads are, or rather they're supposed to know. You know, they usually, a lot of our elected leaders usually have selective amnesia. They'll forget if you ever told them something. It's something that you normally hear people saying, oh, this MP said that he'll come back. Once you elect him, this MCA said they'll come back. But you know, they'd never come back. And then a few months to elections, you see them popping up and trying to do a quarter of, not even a quarter, just a very small bit of what they had promised. Yet continuously, if over the 5 years, they were just doing it in bits, they would. I mean, we've seen the ones who are really working, the kind of pace with which they do development in their regions. It's unbelievable to imagine that these same people have the same kind of disbursements made by government, equitably of course, but yeah, they'd be able to go further. We are aware of it, so we make do of what we are able to do. So I'm going to to see again, as I said, how much I'm going to be able to do. I need to do a live stream today, I think. Yeah, I didn't give notification again. This is just laziness on my part. But I've been busy checking on something, studying something online. And so my mind just skipped, and then I realized, oh goodness, yeah, I haven't done this. The situation in our region is not getting better at all. And I think I've been so involved in what's happening around Ruai, I forgot to check what's happening in the rest of the town and other areas. And oh goodness, you know, we are only worse off probably because we are at a lower altitude, and next to us are people who are not just at a lower altitude, but are on a flat land. You know, people who are in flatlands are more prone to have flooding than people who are on lands that are sloping slightly. Where I am, I can say we are a bit lucky because the land slopes, the gradient of the land is very slight, but there is a gradient of the land. But further ahead, the land is very flat, and so the water just has to have channels dug for it. And you know, it's so sad, because I know that with water, even if you were to dig for 10 kilometers, if you were to dig a trench for 10 kilometers, I'm just giving a wild imagination. All you need to do is that every maybe half a kilometer, you just reduce, you start with a very shallow level, because water will always flow according to the grade, and you don't have to slope the whole part, because water always rises to find its own level. So all you need to do is that, for example, giving 10 kilometers as a stretch, well, that's quite on the high side. If you were to give 500 meters, is that every 100 meters, the level at every 100 meters going to the next level, to the next 100 meters, you reduce by half a foot. You have a drop of half a foot. That is all it takes. And the next 100 meters, you drop the channel by half a foot. That is all it would take. Water needs very little. That's why water finds its own way, because after it has risen to find its own level, it will go as directed, and it will always go to the point that has a place where it can fall, literally. So it's looking for, where can I go and drop and lie down, where can I slope down to. So if you guide it by just half a foot, every 100 feet, half a foot, it will find its level. And as it keeps on reducing, that's the direction. When the water is filled up everywhere, it will go automatically where the gradient of the land is. But once it comes to the level where it can flow into the channels, it will just automatically go towards the place which is directed, which keeps dropping by half a foot. And so that way you can divert water in whatever direction. I mean, people keep on arguing that no, it doesn't have to follow the gradient of the land. It doesn't work like that. And that's how canals are made. You just understand how the water works, put it into one level, make sure it gets to that level, and then give it a small drop, and then it goes on to the next place. So thank you all of you who've been watching this. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Requesting you to support the channel, and to support the channel is by way of giving a subscribe and a like, so that the algorithm can find people who have similar taste as you, to recommend them to my channel. But until we meet again, may God bless you and guide you and meet you at your point of need. And so from Ruai in Nairobi of magical Kenya, it's bye bye.